When you type the word power into Google and look at the images, all of them show a male visual. In English, we spend a lot of time talking about power, whether it's who holds the power in politics, at Brooks, or in our studies during class. Power has been a recurring theme throughout our English class this year. Beginning with A Streetcar Named Desire, we were introduced to a variety of different powers. We saw how Stanley dominated both Stella and Blanche's worlds by establishing himself as, quote, the king around here. Throughout the movie, he supports this opinion of himself in a variety of ways.
Who do you think you are, a pair of queens? Just remember what Huey Long said, that every man's a king, and I'm the king around here. And don't you forget it.
Stanley is an example of a patriarchal atavistic power. He demonstrates his power in violent, gruff ways, both physically and mentally. To contrast this hostile power, we meet Stella. At first, we just assume that Stanley holds all the power, until we see the scene. After seeing this, we realize that Stella has more power in this dysfunctional relationship than we thought. Stanley needs Stella in order to function, yet he still takes her for granted. Similarly, in House of Cards, we see how Frank needs Claire in order to function, yet he takes her for granted as well. Claire is constantly making sacrifices for Frank, yet throughout the first season, Frank begins to ignore her and becomes distant. In The Great Gatsby, the struggle for power is a battle between Jay Gatsby and Tom Buchanan. Throughout the movie, the power goes back and forth between the two, but it is always in a man's possession. Daisy never has power. She's seen as a prize to be won and nothing more. In the relationship between Tom and Daisy, Tom has all of the power. He demonstrates this by having an affair with Myrtle and ultimately taking Daisy for granted. However, in Daisy and Gatsby's relationship, Gatsby never takes Daisy for granted, yet he is too greedy. He expects too much out of Daisy, which in the end is what ends their relationship. In conclusion, the struggle for power in relationships has been a recurring theme throughout English class this year. We saw it in Streetcar with both Stanley and Stella, we saw it in House of Cards between Claire and Frank, and we saw it between Gatsby and Tom, who competed against each other for Daisy. In all three of these productions, the power always ends up in a male's hands, and we have yet to see a woman maintain power.